Well, good evening and welcome to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition. This first session is called The Seer. Let me introduce you to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. It's set in the world of Warhammer, of course, the fantasy version, hence the word Warhammer Fantasy. I might have over-explained it a bit there, I do apologise. But the actual game itself that I'm going to run is set post-Civil War, so if you played any of the campaign materials, especially the Enemy Within, this is post-Empire in Flames. The gorgeous yellow book with the John Blanche cover, and it's one of my favourite campaigns. The Enemy Within is one of my favourite campaigns of all time. This isn't a continuation of that campaign. This is just using the fallout and the results of that, what happened in that campaign. But you don't need to know anything about that campaign to watch this game. Just letting you guys who know Warhammer out there exactly where this is going to be set. I'm using Warhammer First Edition, but I have stripped the rules back just a little bit because for online play it does make things a little bit easier. If this was face to face, then I'd go all guns with everything, but I've trimmed it down just to make it a little bit more watchable. So nice gun impression, thank you. So it's let's just crack on. So the Civil War is over. Karl Franz has been crowned Emperor, the Crown Prince has been defeated, and the machinations of chaos has been pushed back for now. There is still a bit of a gloom over the Empire. People still look to the stars waiting for salvation. Of course, now that Emperor Karl Franz himself is wielding Galmaraz, it's, you know, everybody's thinking this is it. This is everything. The peace is returning to the Empire. Chaos has been pushed back, so things are a little bit quiet. And of course, when these things happen, when things get quiet, people start to get complacent. There are rumours going around that something huge is going to happen, something huge is building up. Nobody quite knows what it is. But there's just a feeling of electricity in the air. So what the Emperor Karl Franz has done, he has built up something called the Agents of the Hammer. And Agents of the Hammer are basically your average adventurers who would like to go off on these little jaunts all across the Empire, all across the old world. Basically getting into all kinds of scrapes. So of course they go and do things which your average agent would not do. So that's why they are perfect to work for the for the Emperor, and that is exactly who these characters, these three wonderful people, who will be playing this game tonight, and they are playing Agents of the Hammer. So I'm going to go around the table as I can see them on my screen here, and I shall start with you, Strain. And can you please introduce your character? Can I have a name? Can you let me know what their career is and what they're good at, and just tell me a little bit about them?
I'm playing tonight Christoph von Dassel, a noble, a minor noble of the Empire, dressed in the finest of clothes with a handlebar moustache, likes to look after the young ladies of the Empire, making sure that they are in no danger at all. How I ended up with these peasants, well, they are here to serve me and help me as I solve the Emperor's issues. And we travel around, you know, they look after the horse, and then they do other such things for me. I do wonder why half of them smell of the Bogerhafen River, but, you know, we have to live with what we have to live with. Yes. Christoph.
Well, Christoph, welcome. A pleasure, I'm sure, for everybody but you. And Pirate.
So this evening I am playing Amadeus van Roth. He's a road warden. He scours the roads of the Empire looking for ne'er-do-wells in trouble, and he ran into a bit of a situation when he was last carrying out his duties, and since then he has been partially crippled. He now walks with a pronounced limp. He's holds his arm at an odd kind of angle now, and he can no longer grip a sword properly in his right arm, in his right hand. He's tall. He's kind of got dirty blonde hair and a long, with very travel-worn clothing. But he's feeling pretty useless at the moment, and he's just looking for any opportunity that he can find to serve the Empire once again.
Excellent. And finally, Lloyd.
All right, I've got Osgood. Now that you've heard from the help, here's the main event. Osgood is my word. I'm a up and coming entrepreneur. I grew up in the cities, but I just see opportunity where it is, where I can make some money and work my way up. But I like to present like a professional like air, and a bit of class for my working class brethren. This little, so like I'll tend to be out in my leathers, but I always try to keep it squish. Keep track of the latest fashions, just to put on a bit of an air. They kind of like that kind of like extra touch. And this little fluffy fella down here is Reggie. He is my chief executive officer and current employee of the month. Don't put your fingers anywhere near his face, and don't put your face anywhere near his ass.
Welcome all. Of course, as I do with all my games, I will be referring to you all as your characters' names to help with immersion. So please remember who you are. That's it. That's the introductions. So welcome to the Warhammer world, and we're just going to get straight into it. We're going to begin with Outdorf. Outdorf saw quite a lot of the Civil War, of course, being the centre of government of the Empire. Of all the battles, Outdorf suffered quite a lot. Its people suffered, but now that Emperor Karl Franz is in power, and he is basically driving forward with the power of the hammer to bring the people together, Outdorf is looking up, but it's still a grimy shithole, let's be honest. I mean, all the buildings are huge, they're built on top of each other, they're all leaning into the street as if they're about to jump onto you. The school motif, especially over the main gates and over the palace and over the school of magic, is prominent. There's still this sense of doom, it's almost death cultist. It's really, really oppressive. So you only come to Outdoor for two things: one, to make a fortune, or two, to die. So Outdoor at the moment is filling up with people again. The supplies coming in. That's now that it's no longer disrupted by what was happening with the war across the Empire. And you could say things are looking up, but it's Outdoor and it's Warhammer, so it's not. We'll start with you three, as you're being led into the Imperial Palace, one of the highest buildings there, with its high ziggurats, with its high towers. Over the main door, you've got the motif of the skull with the sort of what do you call it? It's got the sort of the cross. It's got the hammer. It's got the twin tower comet over it. So there's people that are there that sort of hammer it into place. There's lots of repairs being done to the palace. You can see where it's literally just falling to pieces. Like Outdoors, just feels like it's just rotting from within. You're led through the main door, led for the main gates by this short guy who you know to be an acolyte of one of the houses of magic. Luckily, none of you are playing magic users in this game because, as we all know, the magic system in the first edition kind of sucks. So thanks for that. You're being led through the main doors. Whenever you breathe in, you feel like you're breathing in damp, and you can smell you've got the smell of kind of burnt wood going up your nose as you're sort of heading along this huge vaulted corridor. It's like, imagine the biggest cathedral, double it in size, and on the inside all the columns and the vaulted ceiling. You've got all the banners hanging down of different houses and sort of noble bloodlines. There's 2 or 3 missing people who obviously sided with the wrong people during the Civil War. And there's lots of people in here trying to clean it, basically trying to make the place look nice. Big stained glass windows which they're trying to clean. And it's obviously, when you get mud on the glass, you just try to wipe it off, you just smear it everywhere, and it makes things look worse. That's what it's like at the moment. They really want to try, but there's just this sense of doom and hopelessness in the air. His acolytes, he's kind of a short, sort of stooped over, looks a bit like the guy out of Young Frankenstein. He's got the hood over his hand. As he's walking along, he's muttering to himself. He's got a long staff with a lantern on the end. There's nothing in the lantern, so why is he carrying it? Who knows? There's a dead mouse in it. Weird. So he's basically just walking along. He's got to go. Who's he talking to? Probably his mum. It's weird. So he's sort of moving forward, heading down this long corridor. And then you go past these pair of double doors to your right, and inside you see the Emperor Karl Franz himself, and he's standing over this huge table with the best ever miniatures terrain set up ever. It's basically the Empire, but in miniature form, little buildings and stuff like that, and he's moving stuff around. And he stood there in all his splendour. He's not in his armour, just in his regal clothing, and he's looking very serious. He's nodding as all his advisors are all around him. Then one of the advisors who stood near the door sort of turns around, sees you all walking past and looking. He takes a step and closes the door on you so you don't look in. The acolyte continues walking. All the advisors are in there, all the big powerful players from the council, from all the noble houses. They were all in there, so there's something very important going on. Takes you down the corridor, turns left down to a short corridor. It's like suddenly one of those weird sort of illusion rooms where suddenly the actual corridor itself kind of just shrinks, and next thing you know, you're walking down a normal corridor. You come to a big door at the end. He sort of bangs on it with his staff. The silence, and then he grabs hold of the handle in the center and sort of swings it open, and he sort of motions for you to go in with a and inside it's like a proper wizard's room. Books, scrolls, bottles of weird coloured liquid, strange paraphernalia, this weird clockwork thing to the right which looks like spheres on spheres. It's just weird. With his back turned to you, hunched over a huge tome, you see a figure, and he's got that kind of brazier helmet on of obviously a bright wizard, and he's sort of leaning over this tome, and he sort of lifts up a withered hand and sort of waves you in, obviously knowing you're there. And he sort of turns around and he goes, "You can go, Casper." And Casper goes, and steps out, and then closes the door behind you as you're in this room. It stinks of incense and cinnamon. That's all he smells. Slowly he stands up and sort of stretches. Oh, goodness gracious me. And sort of turns around. He's a bright wizard, but he's not hunched, and by the looks of it, he's actually got charcoal all over his hand, which is why his hand looked really weird and warped. Sort of wiping and turns around. "Well, welcome. Please take a seat. You have to excuse the theatrics. People expect certain things from wizards, you know." Points at 3 seats in front of his desk.
Of course, of course.
Well, a little bit of grandstanding never hurt anyone.
Well, people expect wizards to be weird and screamy and screechy, a little bit like Casper there. I have no idea what happened to him. Apparently he involved a horse and a spade. I can't go into any details. But, yeah, it's if you'd like to sit down, would anybody like a drink? I have some rather wonderful Kislev tea. As weird as he looks, dressed in this bright wizard paraphernalia, he's talking in a proper... He looks quite young as well, probably in his 20s, maybe early 30s.
Yeah, I'll take up your other drink.
Tea sounds delightful, yes.
Walks over to one of the weird shaped glass things which are all twisted next, and it's sitting on the bubbling small stove like a Bunsen burner sort of thing, and he walks over, "Oh, perfect," and starts pouring out of it. But puts 3 glasses and walks over and sort of passes it over to you, puts it in front of you. "Well, thank you very much for coming. I understand that you are the newest agents of the Hammer. Is this true? So you wish to cast yourself...
Well, I've not heard of anyone newer or older, so...
So you wish to cast yourselves off and throw yourselves into the mouths of chaotic danger, yes?
Well,
we
there's danger, there's profit.
Don't all answer at once.
must do the right thing for the Empire.
Well said. I don't believe you, but well said. Of course, there's lots of money involved, and you will be richly paid for all of this. He sort of looks you up and down, pirate. So, he walks back over and sort of sits down, gets what looks like a tea cake, and takes a munch. So, this is what's
gonna
happening.
sprinkle some seasoning into his tea.
Yeah, there's plenty to choose from. He sort of sits back and he's got this big high back chair. He sort of leans back with his own little cup and he sort of takes a sip, and he's got what looks like a tea cake on the go as well, which is he sticks it's like a tiny trident, really ornate. It looks like a magic wand almost. It's sort of like a proper bone long shaft on it, and at the end it's intricately carved with loads of runes going down the end of it. And he picks it up and sticks the tea cake on the end and pads it over the Bunsen burner. And he sort of leans back and goes, "As you can probably see, there's quite a lot happening in the palace at the moment. We've got people running hither and thither all over the Empire trying to put things back to normal because of what happened during the Civil War. We'd like to say that things are back to normal, and we'd like to say that things are getting better, but unfortunately it is simply not the case. There are still plenty of things out there, still plenty of people who are against Karl Franz taking the throne. And there's all these rumours of something doom-laden in the future, which nobody can quite grasp on. We have people in the university and in the schools of magic basically trying to figure out what this malaise is over the entire country, or over the old world. Everyone feels it, but they can't quite figure out what it is. There's a sense of, well, some people are calling it the end times. I have no idea what that means.
Probably a new product line.
Yeah, set for release in the summer of 2023. So,
well, you know how the soothsayers are. They always like to come up with some doom and gloom to keep themselves in the job. I kind of prefer to worry about the here and now.
While travelling from town to town, they need to make us a few gold crowns somehow, and what better way than to throw a few bones on the floor and scare the locals into giving you all their money. Pretty much like what we do, to be fair, and the tax collectors. So, well, this is what we needed to do. The Emperor has actually asked for this mission to be carried out in the utmost secrecy. This is why, and he also needed people who were new to the Agents of the Hammer. He didn't want anybody involved who had already had a network who might recognise them. So this is going to be something. It's going to be dangerous. I'm not going to lie to you. You have the chance to walk away at any point. But there is a man who. Please don't walk away. You ruin the campaign. There is a man who the Emperor is trying to find. He is known as Armand de Guin. And apparently he's some kind of seer. And rumour has it, this is going back about 2 emperors, that he once did a huge favour for the Empire because he was capable of seeing events that were going to happen. He could see the future, basically. And he was accurate. He was always accurate. The story is that he's already lived several times, so he knows what's going to happen. If that's true or not, I have no idea. There are mentions of a Armand, there are mentions of several Armands in the scrolls, but nothing that really stands out. So this is your mission. Going back to the fact that he served old emperors, we've looked through old records, and we found that he lived in a small place in the Empire called La Mortineau, a little slice of Britannia, gifted to Britannians in the Empire, just south of here. And apparently that's a place where he liked to frequent. So your mission is this. It's quite simple. Go to La Mortineau, find out, pick up the trail of whoever this seer is, this Armand de Guin, and find him. Bring him back to the Emperor, so the Emperor can use these special gifts, which he apparently has, to figure out exactly what is going on, to figure out if he can somehow change, avoid, or deal with this doom-laden future which seems to be in front of us. Do you understand the mission?
Of course.
Yes.
Absolutely no problem. Sorted.
A bit
Don't
broad
worry.
strokes, but we'll see how we go.
Well, unfortunately, we have absolutely nothing else to go on other than Armand de Guin spent a lot of time at this it's a walled town called La Mortineau. It's about 2 days to the south of here, and unfortunately, that's all the scrolls and books tell us. Now, if this Armand de Guin had lived lives continuously, or he did have this history, or he even had this power, we expected him to appear in the official Imperial records, of course. But there is no record of him, of his power, of his influence, and this supposed favour that he did for emperors going back 2 generations. If he even exists or not is a matter of debate.
Well, if he's not that famous, maybe he's at least, like a local celebrity, and the trail will pick up closer to that town. Who knows?
Well, that's what you're here for. Now, of course, you will be agents, but you need to keep that a secret as best as you possibly can. I will be giving you a seal, a wax seal, which you can use if you feel you have to. That you can use as a form of identity, like in game terms, kind of like flashing the badge, like an Inquisitor sort of thing. But as this is supposed to be kept under wraps and is a secret mission, we would rather you do not go down that route. But we will give you the seals just to be on the safe side.
Do we reveal ourselves to De Guin if and when we find?
Well, find out what you can about him first. We have no idea who he serves. We don't know if he serves Sigmar. We don't know if he even serves any god. We don't even know if he serves Chaos, and he's somehow been put on the old world to throw us off in different tangible directions and make mistakes. We have no idea. So yes, find him, ascertain who he is and what he is and why he's doing it. Then, if necessary, reveal yourselves and bring him back to Outdorf if he'll come.
If he won't.
And if he won't come, you bring him back to Outdorf, if you know what I mean.
He must serve either the Emperor or no one. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. If he does have this power, if he does have this ability to see the future, he would be a great ally to people that we otherwise would not want to have him. So the Empire has him or nobody does. Do I make that part clear?
Oh, perfectly clear.
Good. Now, he hands you all a pouch each. In each of these pouches is your seal and 10 gold crowns, which I hope will see you for the next few days. Well, if there's any other questions?
Oh, well, we should leave immediately then.
Is that 10 gold pieces, 10 gold crowns total?
10 gold crowns?
Each.
Is that 10 crowns each or total?
Yes, 10 gold crowns each, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Why were you expecting more? Gonna haggle.
Well, no, I was expecting because we couldn't divide by 3 that I'll just skim the top.
Oh, okay. This guy won't haggle! Won't haggle!
Of course, those here may not have held gold crowns before. If you'd like me to keep a hold of them for you, I would be honoured to look after them for you.
Yeah, keep your hands to yourself, you shiny bastard.
That's not very nice.
Is that your official character's voice?
So what happened?
I'm sorry, the previous voice got stuck in my head.
Oh, right. I wasn't sure if maybe you put something a little
It's
bit
to be
too close to the
determined.
dog's mouth.
Overexcited at gold, can I say? Slipped and knocked his testicles. So, any more questions? He starts to hunch himself out. He puts the tea cake into a drawer, takes your cups off you, and puts them back onto Bunsen burners and stuff, and then sort of pulls his cloak over and hunches himself over again. When he coughs, his brazier helmet goes into a puff of flame, and a circle of smoke sort of lifts. Any more questions?
Sigma, Christ.
I think that's fine for now.
Yeah, I don't suppose we know if anyone else is looking for him.
Not that we're aware of. I'm sorry, that's cryptic, but the fact is, if we know about him, the chances are the enemy knows about him too. And if anybody would get hold of a man with that amount of knowledge or power, yeah. So yes, be very. That's why we want this to be secret, for you to keep it under the radar. Then, but unfortunately, that's not very Warhammery. I'd like to keep it underneath the crow's gaze.
Under our hats, then. I'll put my
Like
big
it.
hat on with the red
Below our
feathers.
belt.
Hang on a minute. I need to write down under the crow's gaze. That was kind of cool.
That was rather cool.
Using that until it's dead. So, well, thank you very much. And he sort of leans over and goes, Casper! And then the door creaks open and Casper comes in. They may go. And he goes back to his desk and continues working. And Casper goes, and motions for you to leave.
Out of politeness, I'll bow politely and respond in kind.
He goes, what did you say about my mother? No, so he starts.
She's a lovely lady.
He starts walking back down the corridor, and as he's walking along, he's sort of pointing at different things and going. He comes across another guy who goes, "Hello, Casper," and he goes, "Oh, all right, Brian." And he leaves the palace.
If Hagen decides to join in, can that be his character, please?
Only if he does the voice.
No, he has to do the voice. He just
Absolutely. Basically, it's a cross.
can't speak English. He's just like rah, 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 rah. Sorry, old
That's the
world.
only way he's going to communicate. You go back out. You'd like to say that you were back out into the fresh air, but well, outdoors.
Feels like home.
Shit. Yeah. The looks of it, there are Bright Templars. There's loads of wizards and there's lots of people around at the moment in the courtyard of the palace. You can see there's obviously lots of nobles have come into the city for obvious reasons. So there's loads of carriages and sort of wagon trains and loads of hangers-on and courtiers all sort of just hanging and sort of milling around. There's a feeling of tension in the air. Obviously, some of these noble houses don't get on. Especially there's representatives from both Talabheim and Middenheim, so there's lots of people sort of still looking at each other who obviously took different sides during the Civil War, and then it's a little bit awkward. Hang on a minute, didn't you murder my family before you invaded my castle? Yeah, I might have done actually. Well, we're under the bridge. No, it's all a bit. It's all a bit.
Are any of them looking a bit weird at Von Dassel?
No. But yeah, that's it. You're out in the courtyard. You're out in the bright air.
I suggest you get your horses, and we should depart as soon as possible.
Right. As a road warden, do I know anything about the roads between here and La Mortineau?
Well, you don't know about La Mortineau. Looking at, if you head the road south, there are lots of settlements. It's probably one of them. Hang on a second. Let me just crack open my map of the old world as published by Hogshead Publishing in the mid-1990s. So as the road warden, you get your map out, and holy God,
look at that!
You get your map out, and I can't actually.
Yeah.
I wonder what he was keeping in his pocket.
Yeah, I thought it was
God
a
damn it,
knife.
that voice. Stick it with me.
So
I don't want
outdoor. Is this ridiculous. This is what happens when you don't play with the VTT. So thanks.
Exactly.
So,
It's like it was.
It's like we're actually there. So Outdorf is there in the centre. If you head south, the first place you're going to come across is Castle Reitgarden. Just south of that is Grunberg. Apparently, Le Mortenau along the river is somewhere between those two places. Apparently, it's clearly signposted. Le Mortenau, according to records, basically a Bretonnian family actually did the Emperor a massive favour about 2 generations ago. And so he basically gave him a little slice of land where they could build farms, and they walled it off, and they called it Le Mortenau.
I was just wondering, the roads between here and there, are they particularly dangerous, or is there anything we should be aware of?
At the moment, every road is dangerous. You've got your normal bandits and all your problems that you have when you're travelling anyway. It's a little bit safer to the south, heading towards the Border Princes, because a lot of chaos is being pushed away now. They're kind of reeling back and licking their wounds after what happened during the Empire in Flames, during the Civil War. Excuse me. There are roving war bands. You will find like beastmen, maybe orcs, who are still a little bit scattered all over the place. Because of course they came wading in trying to take advantage of the fact that the Empire turned upside down, and then when they got themselves back together, they're a little bit lost now. But as a road warding, your main problem is probably going to be bandits. And when I say bandits, these aren't organised thieves and murderers and killers. These are just desperate people who've been misplaced by the war, and they've got nothing else going for themselves, and they've had to resort to taking what they need. So
they're
how you
not
deal with them.
necessarily particularly well trained or anything like that.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of them are probably just families. Probably the father and the eldest sons have gotten stuck a couple of nails through a couple of pieces of wood, and are just hoping to get something out of just sheer intimidation. These are desperate, unfortunate people, probably covered in mud.
Okay.
Mud.
Yeah.
Filthy.
Yeah, must have been mud farmers in a previous. Must have been mud farmers in a previous life.
Must have been mud farmers in the previous life. So yeah. So I mean, you've got a horse, haven't you, Strain?
Yes. Christoph has a very nice horse called Neva.
Very nice.
Neva.
But the other guys haven't. So you can either walk along, or you can go and buy yourself a horse, or horse and cart. It's completely up to you.
No, he's walking.
Can I get a donkey? I like an ass.
You can get a donkey. There's nothing wrong with having. They said nothing wrong with having an ass, but I think that's more of a biological requirement. Let me just go to my.
It's one of Amadeus's many war injuries.
Yeah, you got a riding animal. Here we go. You want to get a. I would say it's the same price as a pack horse. So, well, no, actually. In fact, if you want to get yourself an ass, it's going to cost you 20 gold crowns.
Oh well,
that's most of my gold.
Yeah.
Can we do one on a rental basis?
Well, I tell you what, for 5 gold crowns,
they're like a Hertz donkey hire.
We'll loan you a horse as long as you return it alive, not in bags, like the last one.
This way, like it's also in bags, but it's mostly alive.
Yeah.
No feeding it to your dog.
I mean, that's more of a discussion between him and the donkey rather than with me and the donkey.
Well, it depends. If you're feeding it to him, then it's definitely involving you.
Do you want to do that? Do you want to hire a horse for 5 gold crowns each? Apart from Christoph, of course, who's rich.
Yeah, let's go.
I own one. I'm a road warden.
Have you got one already?
You're a horse?
Oh, yeah.
Let's saddle him up.
Yeah.
That comes with everything. You get the horse, you get the hooves, he's got eyes. Yeah, it covers the worst thing. So, yeah, you pick yourself up a horse, 5 gold crowns as a deposit. You won't get the deposit back. It's basically a rental. So, it's got... so yeah. Get that at the stable. You get yourselves going. You're just going to head south, yeah?
No, head out on the road. Yes.
Okay. You got a little bit of a. Excuse me, while I clear my throat. Hang on a second. Oh, I have a more manageable map on the back of here. Didn't realise. So I've had it for 25 years. Didn't realise. So you start heading down. You're following like a little red line, red dots, like Indiana Jones, and suddenly you get to this point here, and then a man's head appears and goes, "Ambush!" If you'd actually played Shadow of the Horn Rat on the PlayStation 1, you'd have found that really funny. So,
I mean, that's also a game that was like 30 years ago.
It's true. That doesn't happen, by the way. So
Who's a bush? I'll shout back out.
Oh, no, bacon bush. So you start heading south, following the river. The road follows the river, so you do get a lot of the big river boats and some of the larger sailboats and trading boats coming up and down the river. They kind of wave half-heartedly because they've got loads of rotted grain in their holds because things are just shit because it's Warhammer. And as you're sort of just heading south, as you come to the bend in the river, you're probably about a day away from Lamortino. You see a boat floating, following the river's flow, heading up towards Outdorf. It looks like the back end of it had been burning. It's still smouldering, actually. There's absolutely no sign of life on it at all. You do see loads of black feathered arrows on each side, sort of sticking out of the hull and across the top. You don't see anybody on board. It's out in the middle of the river, and the river's probably about, I don't know, 50 yards wide. So it'd be a hell of a swim to get to it. But that slowly drifts by. And it's like I say, it's still smouldering, and there's smoke coming out the back of it.
Seems someone found trouble.
I can't swim, so that's an easy decision to make.
Yeah.
And I won't swim in that river. Easy decision for me.
There we go.
Thank you for volunteering,
Look
Amadeus.
at me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, of course, because they've got a contract and they make money from shareholders from the sewage companies, they just pump all that shit directly into the river. I mean, who the fuck could do that? So it's absolutely
A
disgusting.
very wise and powerful man.
Yeah. It's it's disconcerting. And then you've got to make camp for the night. And I like making camp for the night, but nothing happens. So the next morning comes along, and let me just roll the dice. Actually, the higher the better. It's actually quite a nice bright day. Actually, there's a little bit of cloud in the sky. It did drizzle overnight, so you're a little bit damp. And by the time you reach the walls of Lamortino, you're a little bit creaky. Your backs are aching. You've got that kind of like wear damp clothes for a little while, so your skin's getting a little bit sort of walnutty. It's not pleasant. And then the heavens open up as you get to the main gate. It's a bit strange. When you get to the main gate of Lamortino, outside it's all got the drudge and the darkness, like the plants are half alive and the trees are all withered. It's all really nasty. But you can see behind them, the wall of Lamortino is like a few miles. It's a big wooden palisade, and it goes all the way around Lamortino because it's all farmland inside there as well, according to the notes. My notes. So as you get to the gates, behind there you can see tall trees, like really blossoming, absolutely gorgeous. This is the arse end of summer, and it looks really, really nice inside there. And you get to the main gates. The main gates are open. There's a couple of guards there, but they don't seem to be taking much notice. Like the guards at the gates of the castle in Holy Grail, sort of got flowers in their hair, and they're sort of just leaning against the post, like, "Oh, what's going on?" And smoking a pipe. Yeah, it's hey. And literally, you can see the contrast. Outside, it's all crap. You step through those gates, it's like walking into Disneyland. It's just colour, and it's beautiful, and you've got big flowing fields of grain, with the big farms in the distance. On the hill, you can see Lamortino itself, just a small township of like a dozen houses, or village even. It's a huge contrast. It's literally like stepping into another world as soon as you go through the gates.
Oh, this will do. This will do.
Even the air smells fresh. Little birds come fluttering down and land on your finger. You know what I mean? It's just so.
Here's one for you, Reggie.
It smells lovely. And Reggie eats it.
Did the war not make it?
Yeah, this place needs a bit more brown for my liking.
A delightful place. Most delightful.
Yeah,
What's wrong with the air? It smells weird.
It smells fresh. Like the blossom of the
something's missing.
Summer day. Oh.
I don't trust air that I can't see.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I assume you're carrying along the road, heading towards the village centre.
Yes.
I think that's probably a good idea. I mean,
most definitely.
Walking along. Yeah, you see farmers tilling the fields. They're obviously, harvest is only about a month and a half away. So they're sort of taking care of the fields, pulling out dead weeds. You see oxen pulling up a dead tree stump at the side of the road. At the side of the road, every 100 yards, there's a little shrine, and each one's to a different god. So you've got you got Sigmar, then you got Ulrich, and it's sort of in Shalien, it just sort of continues up. So there's obviously a mixture of faiths in Lamortino. When you get to the town itself, the buildings don't look new, they look old and rickety, but they're clean. and there is a massive inn. I mean, a huge inn, which is where its money originally came from, which has been, but very, very old style building. So it's all half stone, and the rest of it's timber. It's absolutely massive, and it's the sign creaking outside. It's called the Lance, and it's just, like I say, it's like something out of the history books. It's really, really old style design building with a thatched roof.
The people coming into town, was it just?
Yeah, there's people wandering around. There's a blacksmith. He can been working away. There's a dwarven blacksmith actually, because they're the best. And yeah, he's sort of bald. He's got all tattoos, and then he's got a full beard, all braided, of course. He's working away on his little anvil. There's the stable boy. He's sort of leading 2 horses out. These huge destroyers. I mean, proper, fully trained, muscular horses. I mean, these are like Shire horses on steroids after being to the gym, after eating 12 chickens. And then starred in Game of Thrones. These things are absolutely huge, and he's leading them out of the stable. He sort of looks like he's leading them to water, but they won't drink. And yeah, it's just, for want of a better word, it's idyllic or idyllic, however you. It's really nice.
Peaceful,
Yeah.
a bit too peaceful, if you ask me.
Oh, well, I assume we'll get lodgings here for the night as we search around.
The most
I'll
suspicious
climb off
thing
my
I've seen all
horse
week.
and head towards the stableway. Boy!
Boy, who are you calling a boy? Turns around and looks directly at you. He's about 5 foot.
I'll do the laughing
He looks about
character.
14.
Yes, you. My horse needs watering, stabling, and looking after this evening.
That's no problem. That'll be a shilling.
Thank you, madam.
A shilling.
I'm terribly sorry. That'll be a shilling. No, he didn't talk like that. So yeah, he turns around and sort of takes the money off you. Don't worry about taking it off your thing. We say you got some loose change in your socks. Yeah. And he basically takes he ties the destroyers up and lets those drink. And he takes yours and takes it into the stable. And quite professionally, he starts removing the saddle and sort of taking care of it.
Push myself down.
Yeah, you've got 2 days of travel road on you.
Yes. You're not going to put your horses into care?
Oh no, we're just watching the awkward exchange for funsies.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, we'll stable our horses here as well, good sir.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he takes care of that. That's no problem at all.
Yep.
Again, it's a shilling. Don't worry about costing it off. We just, like I said, take it as ready. Got small change.
Okay.
I'm not going to pick
imaginary currencies.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to take more imaginary money off you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, oh no, I'm bankrupt. Ha 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 ha. That's capitalism. So you walk into. Well, I take it you're going into the town.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You walk in. It's absolutely massive. I mean, this is huge, massive. I mean, it looked like there was like 3 floors, but it's not. That's the hall. It's like a massive mead hall. Absolutely massive. There are rooms in the stone area to the left. But yeah, it's really a big fire pit in the centre. There's a few people in there. It's like the middle of the day at the moment at this place. Obviously, people are out working. It looks like the kind of place that you want to have a massive piss up in, though. It's proper Viking style. Yeah. There's a proper bar over the side. I don't know why I say proper bar. There's a bar over the side, and it's a bar. So it's just a piece of wooden barrels, but it's obviously there's loads of barrels behind. And behind it, on a massive board above there, it's like there is a lance. It's broken in half, but there is a lance sort of mounted above the bar. And there's loads of what look like other trophies as well: swords, knives, helmets. There's an orc helmet and an orc shield. You know the what they got hanging up in Bugman's Warhammer world. It's like that. It's just over the fireplace. There's loads of stuff all hanging up over the fireplace. There's what looks like a dragon's tooth. I mean you've seen pictures, it just looks like a huge bone. I think it's a boner then. I do apologise, but that's above the fireplace. And like I say, it's busy. You got this lovely smell of cooked ham going up your nose. Obviously, the kitchens are working. As you go walking in, some people sort of look up and sort of notice you in. There's no huge welcome, but a couple of people nod, sort of acknowledge you walking in.
I'll walk over to the bar. Yes.
Barman is a very, very tall man. Looks like he's in his 50s. Very, very thin.
Good morning, good sir.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
I'll have a glass of wine and is it ale?
A biscuit.
And a sea biscuit?
He's one of them hoity-toity folks.
Any particular style? We have Elven, we have Northern, we have Kislevian. We even have stuff come up from the Tillian city-states. Anything particular?
A glass of Tillian wine would be fantastic, and some whatever ale you've got for these 2 fellows, my associates here.
Yeah, what the normal people drink.
Yep. And 2 ales, no problem. The ale is brewed locally. He walks over to a keg, opens it, pours 2 tankards, put those in front of you, and gets a nice fine glass for you. It's actual cut glass.
I'd love if you
it's
just
a metal
poured ale
stand.
into the wine glass.
It spits in it. That was one thing. There we go. Depth charge. But
Yeah.
he gives you a little bit of wine, puts that in front of you as well.
Your
So
health.
travellers pass.
I'll raise it to
health.
the.
That's sort of,
I'll raise it to the
he's got a
barman.
cup of water.
Oh!
Yeah. So just passing through. Don't know why. Sorry, I need to get out of that voice now. So passing through.
Yes, we're traveling. We have
be
travelled
honest.
from Altdorf.
You've come from Outdorf, and how are things in the capital city?
Well,
Not
it's
faring
a
as well as here, I guess.
shit tip, as the saying goes. This is delightful. It is. The air around here is just uplifting and encouraging.
They're
Yeah,
making
well,
the
you
best
have-
of it as they can.
Well, we have
But,
plenty of people who come here to take the air because it is obviously better than what is up north. But I am glad to hear that Outdorf is somehow coping after the horrors that have encompassed the Empire over the last few years.
There's been some bumps on the road,
Mm.
but you get that points of opportunity, and they've built it up before, they'll build it up again.
Well, let's hope for a nice, bright future for the Empire. Now that hopefully the Emperor is now putting things straight. Can I interest you in a room for the night, or are you hungry? The kitchens have just opened.
Ah, yes, some food would be delightful. And I would
Food
like a
and
room for
rooms.
tonight, and yes, my associates, I'm sure, will want a room or something. But yes, a room for me would be perfect, thank you.
No problem. I shall sort that out for you. Take a seat.
Thank you.
You have plenty to choose from. It doesn't get busy until after hours, of course.
Sir, you must know most of the people in town.
I've lived here all my life. I started as a lowly stable boy in the time of Vindsvept, and now here I am, running the bar that he opened.
We are looking for a man. De
A
Gwyn,
man?
his name is. Do you know
Sorry,
him?
who, sorry?
De Gwyn. Armand de Gwyn.
He sort of leans back. Amanda Gwyn. Now there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Long time.
The jig is up.
Oh, he's not me. So no, he's sort of. And why do you seek Armand de Gwyn? Of all people, why would you seek such a person?
Well, we
That's
heard
a
he's
very
bit
good
of a-
question.
Well, we'd heard he's a bit of a fortune teller.
He's
And a wise
fortune
man.
teller?
A wise man, perhaps. We've heard.
Whatever.
I was hoping that perhaps he can help me with some old injuries that I.
Nobody's
Yeah, our
ever
fellow
sought
here's a
out-
bit of a cripple.
Nobody
We have
has
to look after
ever
it.
sought out Armand de Gwyn so that he can help them. They seek out Armand de Gwyn so that he can destroy things.
What?
Beg your
Who
pardon.
are you?
Wait,
Destroy
destroy things? What do you mean? Why would you seek someone out to hurt you?
Armand de Gwyn, he doesn't help anybody. If you're looking for Armand de Gwyn, I can't help you, but there is a man who can help you. His name is Browbuck. Browbuck! Comes a voice from behind you.
Uh-oh.
Browbuck's an old man at the table. He sort of turns. Who's looking for Browbuck?
Well, we weren't really looking for him. We were just suggested him as a name for future conversation.
Browbuck. You don't find Browbuck. Browbuck finds you. And the barman goes, no, there he is. And he points over at the door, and this man, like a ranger sort of guy, sort of comes
We
walking
found
in.
him.
Oh,
Morning! He's got rabbits and stuff over his shoulder.
yeah.
Or dead rabbits, of course. Not live ones, that'd just be weird. So they're sort of hanging over his shoulder, he comes walking over. That's today's catch. And dumps it on the. He's a quite handsome guy, quite tall, very sort of, I don't know, Aragornish, I suppose, but a bit cleaner and much better hair conditioned. So yeah, he dumps all that onto the counter. And the barman goes, "Oh, thank you very much, Browbuck. That's very, very good of you."
Ah,
So
Bravo!
who mentioned my name?
Let us get you a drink, sir. What will you have?
Can I ask why?
Ah, we're travellers here, and we're seeking your. We hold that you will be able to help us with a matter. But I don't like to talk without having something to celebrate, and we need to celebrate a good day. So please,
If there's
get
a
the man a
drink
drink.
involved, then you can talk as much as you want. You talk, I'll drink. Over there, he points over to a table by the second table,
Excellent.
and sort of walks over.
We'll get him an ale.
Out there, and then the old man at the fireplace goes, "Ah, that's Browbuck," and turns back to his drink.
Delightful.
So,
I was good thinking that with all the rabbits, he must be the country equivalent of a rat catcher. I always appreciate a man of a similar line of work.
What do you do as a line of work then? He sort of sits back and starts stuffing a pipe full of whatever.
I travelled the Empire myself. I keep abreast of situations and try and know what's going on, and enjoy myself and look after the charming young ladies that I find upon the road and help them where I can. These are my 2 associates. Now.
Christoph, if you don't mind, the gentleman's falling asleep.
No, nobody's won't be falling asleep.
But I was talking to the rat catcher.
He's not got any. He needs more ale before he falls asleep.
So anyway, he sort of takes the ale off the innkeeper. Yeah, thank you, Knob. And he sort of takes it and takes a sip. I wasn't being rude. That's his name. He sort of leans back in his chair. So, disappeared out of frame. So, what can I do for you, travellers from the north?
Is the ale good? You enjoying the ale?
Yeah,
I'll whisper it like quieter, just be like, oh yeah, to answer the question, like yourself, you're a bit of a trapper. I do similar work in the cities, though in the cities they kind of there's a bit more of a variation in size than like all the.
I used to do rat catching to
here?
the south by the border princes, and they were big at the border princes. I mean, the size of small dogs, but like your little fella here, and except obviously rats. So yeah, I've full respect for your line of work.
Like drop a tone and just be like, well, we're looking. We were told you might know where to find Armand de Gwyn.
Armand de Gwyn. Now there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Long time.
That's what old Knob said.
But you didn't say it.
No, it's Armand de Gwyn. Why on earth would you? I'm pretty sure Knob probably said to you, "Why on earth would you seek out somebody like Armand de Gwyn?"
He said exactly that.
Well, it's a strange world that we live in when people actually want to meet him.
So what is it about Armand de Gwyn? Why?
I mean, this is going back to my father's time. I'm Browbuck, son of Browbuck, who was also son of Browbuck. My grandparents weren't very original. And they were basically, back in the 2 generations ago, we did a favour for the Emperor at the time, who granted us La Mortineau. And for whatever reason, Armand de Gwyn was fixated by this place. And in fact, it was his magic that enables everything you see around you. Everything grows well, everybody's happy, the air is clean. And it's his magic, his spells at the time, that actually enables this to happen. But he was such a fickle man. He was obviously working. It always felt like he was working towards a bigger picture. There was something bigger happening that he was working towards, and he would quite gladly cut people's throats, literally, to get himself to where he needed to be. Now there were a band of heroes at the time, my father being one of them, and for years they followed Armand de Gwyn. Armand de Gwyn helped them fulfill destinies, and then when it was time for them to be let go, he murdered them all. So yeah, you'll understand why I'm a little bit weirded out by the fact that you're looking for the man who killed my father.
Yes, I can understand that would be somewhat disturbing for you. Yes. Determined individual like that.
We never told you why we were looking for him. Did we?
No. Usually when people are looking for Armand de Gwyn, they either need a favour, they're desperate for a favour, or they're looking to end somebody. And looking at you, I think you need a favour.
Yes,
I'm a really good reason.
injuries.
Like people.
I think we've just been insulted. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you look like you need a favour, you raggedy bastard. Except for you with the hat on.
I get the lovely feathers on the hat. Yes,
All 3 of them.
Yes, 3 feathers. Yes.
Each white one, each one from a war that you ran away from. Sorry, go on anyway.
I'm not French. Right. Yes, we do seek him for a matter that we can't go into too much here. But yes, we do seek this. This man.
What we can probably tell you is that we will take him off your hands.
Oh yes, most definitely,
I learned a long time ago that Amanda Gwyn has powerful friends, and it did me no favours, or the more to know any favours, to enact any kind of revenge upon him. You're talking about a man who said, according to my father, said that he had walked the world since the beginning of the ages. I mean, how many wizards don't say that? They have the knowledge of the gods, or they were there when the Great Gate opened, or I knew Simon. They've all got these strange claims to fame.
I knew Simon.
Amanda Gwyn, that was part of it. People believed him. He had that power over them. He's a dangerous man. I can help you. I'd rather not. I'd rather not point you in the right direction. I'd rather not tell you where to go towards the Grey Mountains. But, oops. I'd rather not tell you. I'd rather not tell you. But if you're looking for him, well, it's your fate. I can't help you with that.
Well, we don't want to put you in an unfortunate position.
Oh, I've been.
So
in
you don't have to
unfortunate
tell us not to go to the
before.
Grey Mountains.
Oh, I'll tell you where you can go. But yeah, if you head towards the Grey Mountains, there's an old tomb there, Azra Kalan. If you can make it to the Grey Mountains and go to find this tomb, that's a place where Amanda Gwyn used to enjoy going. I have no idea why. That's a place that he went to a lot, where the secret meetings between him and my father and his friends used to take place. As far as Lamortino is concerned, Amanda Gwyn has not been back here 15, 20 years. He left, never returned. As far as I'm aware, he might even be dead, finally.
Oh, thank you very much for that information. Yes, that's delightful, thank you.
And now I'm going to ask for the first roll of the game.
Uh-oh.
I can't find the couch.
Is it a 1?
No, I'm going to
Who's
ask you to
making
make
it?
a roll. Oh, here we go. All of you. You're going to make a roll against your initiative. The way the system works is very simple. You've got a number under your initiative, which is a number between 1 and 100. You roll a D100, and you have to roll equal to or less than. If you roll a double, less than, that's a critical success. So you might get something a little bit extra. I just need to know who rolls successes.
No successes. No.
And now I have failed also.
Okay. All's good?
I failed by 1.
Okay. Still a
Think it
failure.
matters? Yeah.
So as you're sat there, there's a strange noise of a clatter of dice, but it doesn't seem to mean anything. So you all sat there, and then you hear an exclamation at the bar, and Nob's looking up, and there's like an open sort of pigeon loft, and the pigeons are there, but there's this big ugly crow sat there as well, with what looks like something hanging out of his mouth, and he's there, and he picks up what looks like an old loaf of mouldy bit of bread, and he sort of chucks it and goes, "Piss off out of here!" Looks it up into the area, and the crow sort of, when the crow caws, it's not, it's a proper, and it leaps out the pigeonhole and then disappears out. I swear that thing's been hanging around more and more these last few days. And the old man at the fire goes, "A crow? It's an omen. I'll tell you, it's an omen. But omens, you don't find omens. Omens find you." And he turns back to the fire and carries on sipping onto his beer. Both Browbuck and Nob sort of look at him.
I think he had a little too much of the ale.
They have strange words for crows in this land.
It's just a
call
big
them crows.
crow.
Here they call them omens.
Yes. I'm so sure I'm going to shoot it down and it'll be someone's dinner.
Maybe an outdoor.
Oh no, in Outdorf we prefer more, better delicacies than crow.
Yep.
Yes. We leave the crows to the peasants. No offence, of course.
None taken, you prick. So anyway, so,
So,
so yeah, sorry.
Is it positive to have a negative fellowship score?
It is, and that's half the entertainment. So, well, I mean, it's coming sort of mid-afternoon now, so you've had a long road. It's been a long road, and it's basically you're absolutely knackered. It's been 2 days on the road, so it's completely up to you.
lunch is coming, isn't it? We ordered
Oh
food.
yeah.
Yes,
As you've been talking, yeah, it's come
we'll,
over.
we'll eat our food. Then I think, yes, relax and rest up for the today.
Yep. And
Yes,
It still has a black feather in it.
Yes.
put that in your hat. So, are you having separate rooms? Are you going to share a room? How do you want to do it?
They can do what they want. I'm having a separate room. Yes.
Okay. You guys want to share a room? There's shared rooms. There's the communal room, or you can have your own room, which of course is going to be the most expensive.
Is that like 2 singles or a single?
2 singles.
Single.
How sharing are we sharing?
Sharing is caring.
Here we go.
It's cozy and keeps you warm.
Yeah, I'm thinking, we've failed a roll already.
Tonight
I'm
you get to be the road.
We'll let
We'll
let him go. Let him go and die on his own. If we're gonna die,
he can sleep on his own. We can go a different inn.
Sorry, you're having a room on your own there.
I am. Yes.
Yeah, he's on his own. We'll share it.
Are you going to share?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sharing. We're like pals. Not
you could be the big spoon.
Moving on. So, what I need you all to do, you all kit down for the night. Like I say, this feels like a really safe place. The wine is lovely. The ale is nice. The food's fantastic. It's really, really relaxing, the entire place. And then of an evening, it fills up a little bit more. There's a wandering minstrel called Brian, who's turned up for the evening. Oh, there's an elven band as well called Danauk, who've sort of turned up for. They're sort of just passing through, so they're sort of playing elven songs and what have you. A lot of the farmers and the locals sort of turned up, and other travellers as well. Sort of people just passing through. It's not boisterous, but it's really pleasant. They've got that lovely sort of layer haze of pipe smoke in the air, that smell of ale and nicotine, and it's just really relaxing. It's really, really nice. People just seem to be people come here, by the looks of it, people come here just to relax. It's a stressful world out there. Lamorta knows the place to be. Just don't tell anybody, otherwise it'll just get overrun by towels. But it's absolutely really, really, really nice. When you retire for the evening, like I say, you're relaxed and you're in for a good night's sleep. I need you all to roll a D100, and I want to know who rolls the lowest.
Oh, it was me.
Middle of the road. I
5.
rolled 49.
Actually, I have rolled a 0-4, which is
Oh my god!
which is nice,
49?
and I will never see that.
Has
again.
anybody got anything better on 0-4?
No, I had
No,
a
he's
5.
got 5.
The 5? Oh right, 0-4. So in the middle of the night, of course everybody's gone to bed. You've all sort of gone to bed. Everybody's sort of gone off to sleep. You've got your shared room. There's like 4 beds in the room, but only you 2 guys are in there. You've got your own room, which is very, very nice. You've even got its own bowl of water. It's just it's just pleasant. So it's big, massive double bed with a the canopy on it, fit for a king, or you. So it's actually it's really, really pleasant. The evening, with the windows open, like I say, it's late summer, so there's a lovely breath there's lovely air coming through. But what wakes you, Amadeus, is the sound of a crow. Going,
Right.
So that sort of just wakes you
Casper?
up all of a sudden.
What are you doing here?
When you open your eye, when you open your eyes, standing directly over you is nothing but this huge black shadow. I mean, proper sort of Black Rider kind of vision. You can't see what's under the hood, but you do see he's hanging onto the short sword. He's standing right over you, and he's taking a lunge forward as if he's about to plunge the sword down.
I'm gonna roll off the bed.
He's sort of
And shout,
He comes flying in with his attack. He's going to get surprise on this. He needs 33 or less. And he rolls a 36, so he literally just misses. You roll over to the side, the sword comes flying down, and obviously he was going to hit you with some power, because the sword smashes through your mattress and through the spine of the bed, cracks the spine of the bed.
Paying for that.
Collapsing down. Yeah, unfortunately, yes, you are. All break, it's a big sign. Don't make me tap the sign. So he basically just slams that through the bed, and then he sort of pulls the sword out and steps back. You can feel cold coming off. I mean, there's a lovely warm breeze of the evening, but now it feels like he's standing next to an open refrigerator. And he sort of takes a step back and sort of spins the sword into another striking position. Of course, you're in your sleepwear, I'm going to assume that your sword and your equipment is to the side of the bed. I didn't ask for that because usually when I ask where's your equipment, everybody says, "Oh, I'm going to sleep in it."
Oh yeah. Of course
I'm going to assume that's to the nice one. That's very realistic. So that's to the side of your bed.
Yep.
You can grab your sword if you have to, but you'll be at half weapon skill if you want to make an attack in the same round.
Why not?
Because I rolled really badly when I rolled that stat. I rolled double 1. That's why.
So you've got 31 weapon skill.
No.
Maybe throw it.
I have
Throw
20,
the sword rather than
22.
swing it.
So you've got 22 weapon skill.
Yes.
No wonder he's a cripple.
So yeah. So
Well, that's why I said he was, because I was kind of making.
That's good. It kind of works with the stats. That's good thinking. So you can make your swing if you want. You've still got 11% chance of hitting him.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm going to grab the. I'll grab the sword off there and swing blindly.
Go for it. You grab the sword and you sort of swing it. He sort of comes out.
Having to use my left hand.
Yeah, the sheath flies out into the distance.
Absolutely no chance. I
rolled 840.
78.
78. Yeah, you sort of take a swing. You go swinging past him. He sort of sidesteps quite easy. You're still quite tired and you're crap. So you literally take the swing and you just miss him. Of course, when you cried out, that wakes Osgood. Osgood, when you wake up, you hear this massive cracking sound of wood as this thing's sword smashes the bed in half. It steps back, and then you see Amadeus sort of grab hold of his sword and take a wild swing. Obviously, it's still dark. You can hardly see much. What do you want to do?
What? Okay, I'll do the same. I'm gonna grab my sword. Reggie, get him!
Yeah,
I'll take a swing.
Knock on him. Brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna need a leadership roll.
I don't really know how the dog bit works, but
I've actually got.
We're going to find out.
Leadership roll.
I would love it if we completely missed and the dog just ends this guy.
Dog bites him on the testicles.
No, that just means he speaks with a very high pitched voice. As we've already established that.
Dead on 50.
What's your leadership?
My leadership is 31.
31. So you rolled 50, yeah? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reggie looks up and then basically starts licking his own arse. So what is it you want to do?
I'll take a swing with the sword. I'll do the half weapon.
Brilliant. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to grab your sword and go for the half. What is your weapon skill?
I feel 44.
44, so yeah.
That'll be 22.
Yeah,
exactly
22
twice. But the problem with these dice, I think they roll too high, which is the problem I don't normally have.
Do you want to change your dice? Sorry,
86.
86. So you sort of jump up as well.
Miss.
You take a swing and sadly miss. Meanwhile, next door.
You find out our swords hit like each other, saving the bad guy's life.
Oh no! Well, he's quite thankful for that and leaves in peace. Now next door, Christoph. So anyway, back to the guy who's still attacking Amadeus. He sort of takes you take a swing at him and miss. He takes a swing as well. He rolls a 34. He misses by 1%. So he literally comes staggering forward, takes a swing, and just misses you. What do you want to do? Or you're muted there. Sorry.
Sorry, rolling around on the floor, flailing blindly with this sword, trying to take a stab at this fella.
Okay, take your swing. You can roll at full weapon skill now. 22.
Oh, brilliant.
Good of me, innit?
98.
98. That's a complete miss. Your sword goes out of your hand and kills passerby outside. He was only out for a piss. You take a swing and unfortunately you miss. Behind you on the window sill, because the open window, because it's nice and warm, because it's summer, is that crow. Again, it's got that strange kind of giblets things hanging out of its beak, and it's sort of there. It's sort of cawing as you're fighting quite loudly. On to you, Osgood.
I'm going to step up and have another swing now that we're kind of a bit more prepared for it.
Okay, make your D100 roll. 44 or less.
Exactly 44.
Oh.
Excellent. So that's a hit. You go stepping forward. You take you sort of come swinging down. You make the strike. It's a 44. So, oh no, Jonathan doesn't remember his own rules.
Probably a torso.
Probably is.
Oh, it might be left arm. I don't know. I can't read the print on this character sheet.
Left arm. He's
left arm.
44.
Yeah, you can guys call that out. Left arm. Yeah, I'll always take left arm as not weapon arm on bad guys. So yeah, you hit him where his left arm is.
That's
you go swinging through. You smack him. So roll a d6. It's a standard sword, so you're not rolling anything else. So roll a d6 and add your strength score.
So that's 7.
7 minus his toughness of 2. That's 5. Well, you've hit him for a -1 critical. So well done. That's your first critical of the actual thing. So you go to
bloody freeloaders. Get your own room.
What? Sharp hand weapons. So he's gone down to -1. So please roll a d100 for me. The higher the better.
You do also have to pay for getting the blood out of the bedding as well.
04.
53.
53. That's a 7 on a critical hit chart to the arm. Your blow opens a deep wound in your opponent's forearm. Anything held in the hand is dropped. Of course, it wasn't his sword arm. And the arm is incapacitated until medical attention is received. So you step forward, you go smacking into his forearm. There's a horrible cracking noise as the bone snaps. He sort of, as he howls, going, "Ah!" and steps back. The raven goes, "Ah!" as if it's harmed, and it jumps to one side. As if it's been hurt. One of its legs, one of its wings, sort of hooks up, and it's cawing, looking at its wings as if something's happened to it.
Yeah.
He
Explain
steps
yourself,
back.
you dirty rat bastard. Before I take off the other arm.
There's a rat in the corner going, "Is he talking to me?" So this guy then again takes a swing at you this time, Osgood, because of course you just twatted him. So he takes a swing at you. 33 to
I knew
hit.
there was a downside to my plan.
Now he rolled an 88. Now if he rolled a double number over your score, over your weapon skill, that's not only a failure, that's a critical failure. So he's done a critical fumble with a one-handed weapon, and he rolled an 88. And his weapon clashed with your guard. You brought your sword up. He hit it at an angle. He's obviously already injured, and that's basically shook him, and he's lost his next chance to attack. So basically, both of you guys get 3 attacks on him. Meanwhile, back in Christoph's room,
Been outmatched.
Yeah, nothing.
right, so, Amadeus.
Like, how long can I keep failing my checks for?
Right, I'm doing no good with this sword. I'm going to try and grab a hold of the crossbow and start loading it. That's my action, I think.
Okay, you dive over that. That's going to take a round, so you can shoot next round. Okay,
Brilliant.
we should take 2 rounds, but let's just say that you were professional because hey, it's cinematic. So
Okay.
then we'll move on to Osgood.
Give him
This-
another
this
swing and then
thing's
I'll
attention
yell
on
at
you
Reggie to start licking his asshole and get on with it. Like, go after the
make
crow. Like, something more is, yeah. Even if you have to
Listen,
shag it,
crow.
just go after the crow.
Okay, make a leadership roll.
52. No, fail.
No, another fail. Yeah, he's moved from his
Fucking
arse
hug.
to his testicles now. So
At least he's
the,
making
so
progress. So,
yeah, there we go. Well, in a few minutes, he should be available. He's very busy. He's very busy. So yeah, you shout at him. Of course, nothing happens. You want to make another action?
yeah, just try to whack his, go for his other arm with the sword.
Okay, if it's a
I'm
cool
curious
shot,
to see what happens to
I'll
the
be-
crow if it.
Oh,
Well,
Mm,
I guess.
if-
Well, I
if
mean,
it's a
just
cool
in
shot,
general
it will
terms,
be-
not like a cool shot, but.
Yeah. Okay, minus 10% if you're going for a cool shot, but if not, then just make you roll.
41, so 3% over. So yeah, it hit.
And that's when you hit somebody, you take the number that you rolled, in this case 41, and you flip the numbers, which gives you a hit location, which is 14, which is
Okay, 14.
is a strike to the head. So you take a
Oof.
swing, you hit him in the head, and he's already injured. So roll a d6 and add your strength score.
That is 6.
How much? Sorry.
6 total. 3 on the dice.
Okay.
3
Well,
on 3.
his toughness of 2, so that gives it a 4. So you've hit him for a -4 critical. So roll a d100, and the higher the better, please.
100.
Really?
Assuming that's what all 0 means.
0 is 100. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You take a swing, and your blow slices your opponent's skull almost completely in half. And unless you make a successful weapon skill test, it would take you the whole of the next round to pull it free. Death is instant.
First
You
world
swing your sword
problems.
over his head. Your dog's now taking an interest now that the guy's dead. Obviously, his
Yeah.
testicles weren't that interesting. You take a swing overhead, you carve down into his skull, your sword gets stuck. But as his body falls to the ground, it's almost like there was nothing inside the cloak. So it literally just crumples down Ben Kenobi style into a pile of black cloth, stinky black cloth. As it hits the
What happened
ground,
to
it's
that
like
crow?
all these spiders and insects sort of pour out of it in loads of different directions. and behind you, the crow literally screams in agony, sort of literally goes stiff, and falls over onto its side, incredibly dead.
Huh.
Meanwhile, Christoph,
Who the hell's been teaching crows black magic?
you hear this because you were shouting, I don't know, stop licking your arsehole or whatever it was, you're shouting to your dog, and that's what wakes you up, Christoph. You can hear Osgood shouting, you assume not to Amadeus, stop licking your arsehole. It's the first time
You never know. You never know with Amadeus.
And
That's
neither
the risk.
confirm nor deny.
I shall get up and
Amadeus.
go out of my room to their door and knock on the door. Keep it down, chaps.
You open the door, and directly in front of you is this massive black cowled figure with a huge sword in his hand. And as you open the door to step out, he's stepping towards you with the sword behind him, ready to take a swing. He comes flying in, he goes for the attack, and that's a good place to leave it for a break, actually.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Surprise! It's the Karma Fairy.
So, if you want to take a break for 10 minutes,
Yes, that sounds like a good idea.
yeah, and we'll come back
Right.
to that.
I don't know
eat
about
some
you,
waffles.
Oscar, but I'm
See you
going.
in 10
I'm
minutes.
going back to bed. Right?
Yeah,
Go
go back to bed.
Yeah,
The
you can
Karma's
deal with it,
calling.
bastard.
Yeah, Karma called. It is asking for collect. All right, see you everyone in 10.
He takes the swing, stepping forward, the sword, a short sword in one hand, comes flying down towards you. He rolled a 29 to hit, which is a hit.
Did
Did you just make a whale noise?
I'm going to dodge blow.
Okay, mate, you dodge blow. You need to roll a d100 and roll less than your initiative.
Yes.
Yes? You take a step back and you're dodge
No.
failed.
I failed my dodge
I
blow.
can't believe that.
No, it's
I can't believe.
Shocking, yes.
Um,
34 initiative and I fail it. Yes.
Oh no! Oh well. So you had a 1 in 3 chance. So he takes the swing. Unfortunately, it hits you. What's your toughness score?
3.
3. Okay, his strength is 2. So he's going to hit. He rolls a 3. So that's 5. Your toughness is 3. You've taken 2 wounds. He comes flying forward. He brings the sword. Now, when the sword hits you, remember you were just in your undergarments because you're in bed. Nobody goes to sleep in the full armour. That's just stupid.
That's true, yes.
Sword comes flying down. What did he roll? Sorry, 28. Did I say? I've moved the dice.
You
down.
did, yes.
Yeah, which goes to 82, which I think is a leg hit. Why haven't I got? Because I've got it.
Did you say you did 3
Amputate.
wounds?
Amputate.
Okay, he swings down and hits you in the leg. And it's like bitingly cold. You can feel the pain of a sword. You've been hit by a sword before. Usually the flat of it in training at home with.
Oh my god, it's cold!
So it basically smacks you in the leg. It cuts quite deeply as well, but it's like freezing cold. So there's a surge of pain, which then suddenly your leg just goes numb. That means that's you staggering backwards, also in the half of a dodge as well. So you almost go tumbling down to the ground. I'm going to ask you to make a dexterity roll, please.
Yes, by 1 point.
Somebody's made a roll. Holy shit!
I made a roll, yes.
Wait a second. I
go
object to that remark.
You go staggering back, you almost lose your footing because literally your leg has gone numb where he's hit you with the sword. You go staggering back, but you manage to regain your footing and stagger back towards the bed where your equipment is.
I'm grabbing my sword!
Yep. You grab your sword. When you draw your sword, I would allow you to make an attack. He comes walking into the room, and behind him, sort of swooping over his shoulder, is a crow, which goes and sits on top of the wardrobe and sort of like he's just watching the action. He comes lumbering forward. He takes a step forward. You can't see. He's wearing gloves. You can't see what's under the hood, but he comes walking forward with the sword.
I will make an
attack,
attempt, yes, at
but you'll be
half.
half weapon skill.
Yes.
You're rounding up. Yeah.
And I rolled 20.
What's your weapon
And
skill?
that's 2 missing. No, I failed.
Okay, then you take a swing. You take a swing back, and sadly fail. Back in your room, guys. The guys hit the ground. The crow's cord, his last core, and has fallen over, and he's very, very dead. It's an ex-crow, and basically, that's it. I need you both to make a initiative roll, please. Just need one of you to pass, for God's sake.
Hey, 0-4. Yeah.
Go for.
26, so I pass as well, sadly.
You both pass, but so you both hear it outside. You hear a door go, and then you hear basically the sound of somebody shouting, which is basically Christoph, and you hear a thump, and there's you know the sound of somebody above you in a room, sort of the footsteps sort of going on, and a door being kicked open. Yeah, it sounds like something's going down in the next room next door, Christoph's room.
Freaking Christoph.
I shoot.
We better go. We better go out and check, because knowing it, this will somehow be our fault.
Okay, you'll be in the room. You'll be out in the hallway, and you'll be in his room in a round. You've got the crossbow loaders, haven't you?
I'm probably still dropping the bolt.
I was wondering if
the bolt as you're sort of heading out.
Yeah.
I was wondering as we come out, would we be able to see the crow? Is the crow behind?
The crow. I mean, well, of course you can't see it, but it's actually inside the room. So when you come out now,
oh, okay, I thought it was behind.
You won't see it. Yeah. No, you won't see it
until we're in the room.
Into the room. So the thing, the cloaked figure takes a swing at you there, Christoph, and he rolls. Holy shit! He rolls a 16. It's another hit. So he comes stepping forward, and he comes again with the sword. What's your toughness? Sorry.
Can I do another dodge blow?
You can do a dodge blow. No problem.
I'm going to do a dodge blow. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe more
21
than your last.
Yes.
You pass.
Yes.
You gambol out the way this time. The sword comes crashing down. Hits the side of the dressing table to the side, literally just turns the dressing table, which is just basically a bit of wood and 4 legs, just smashes that to pieces. The jug, the water, which is giving it to you with generosity, it goes smashing in all directions as you go diving to one side. You can make a strike back if you wish at 4 weapons skill.
I will do, yes.
Okay, make your roll.
And I hit by 6 points, so 32
Huzzah.
to hit.
What did you roll? 22, yeah?
So no, 32 to hit, so the location will be 23.
23. Excuse me. I do apologise. That's a 23. That's the arm. So make a roll, please. D6 roll. Add your strength.
6 points damage.
Minus 2 is 4. That's knocked him down to 0 wounds. So you go in, you take the swing at him, you hit him in the arm, he howls and goes back, and the crow on the wardrobe shrieks almost as in pain. And again, the wing flutters, and that's when you guys come walking into the room. Again, it's the same cloaked figure. You see that Christoph has been injured, and as you walk in, he just twatted him with his sword, and this the shadow in the cloak, the cloaked figure, has gone staggering backwards. You hear the scream of the guy inside the cloak, like a really muffled, faraway, echoing scream. Oh, you bastard! And the crow on top of the wardrobe, again, screams in pain.
Did ours do that?
Yeah.
Ours didn't sound like another person in it, did it?
Oh no!
The guy's scream sounded like a person. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
Yeah. I'll try and I'll just try and stab it from behind, just charging in. Amadeus, if this doesn't work, see if you can peg that crow.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that anyway.
All I can do at the moment is throw my sword at it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Amadeus. Well, both of you make your attacks. Amadeus, if you want to make your weapon, your ballistic skill roll, but BS.
28 on a 32.
26.
20 on a 36. Yeah.
Brilliant. You fire your crossbow. Oh my lord. Crossbow.
It's
damage is
1d6 plus 4, isn't it?
Range fetches 1d6 plus 4 at this range. Yeah.
And I've rolled a 2, so that's 6.
So that's 2. That's going to be a -5 critical. So roll a d100 as long as you roll more than 11. It's going to kill it. Sorry, as long as you roll more than 20, it's going to kill it.
Oh, 31.
31, yeah. You fire the crossbow bolt, it literally goes straight through its chest and pins it to the wall. The figure screams like really high-pitched, ah! Sort of Rick Mail having his nuts trapped in a door. It's literally really, really high-pitched. I need every single one of you to make a willpower test.
Oh. Oh, that was unexpected.
No, I failed by... Actually, I'm going to use my luck to succeed.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
use
knock.
your luck, yeah?
Yes,
I haven't rolled for your luck today, have I? Let me just
no, you need to roll for my luck. Yep. You roll after the first. So I'm going to knock 10 points off of my skill. 28, so I succeed my goodness roll.
Everybody else?
I failed.
I failed on a 91.
Okay, gotcha.
But it does raise interesting questions of where my sword goes.
You shouldn't have said that.
I did.
Because you take your swing.
No, I should have.
What did you actually hit with your weapon skill roll?
I did hit, yes.
You did hit, brilliant. As you take the swing, you go flying forward. You are going to hit, but this high-pitched scream is piercing. I mean, really piercing. I need you to roll a d6. Don't roll a 1.
Okay. game.
Don't roll a one.
No, 6. 6.
Sorry? You're the 6. No, that's fine then. So that's your 6. That's your damage roll. Plus your strength. I'm going to -2 off the damage roll because of the high-pitched scream. Literally, it's like hands to... You drop your crossbow, it's hands to your ears. Everybody else, it's going straight through your skull. It honestly feels like your brain's expanding against your earlobe. It's just horrible. But you hit with the D6 plus what's your strength, sorry?
3. So
3. So
9.
6, 7, 8, 9 -2 is 7. So that's a -7 critical. So there's no way he's going to survive that. So well, just what did you roll to hit? Sorry, originally.
it was like 26 out of 44.
Yeah.
So 62.
2 to the body. So roll a d100, just for the shits and giggles.
54.
54. So that's a 15. Your opponent is disemboweled and dies instantly. You go stepping forward. You bring the sword as he's screaming. You sort of what the, and he goes
Sorry, Christoph.
Straight into his belly. His belly almost explodes. You almost cut him in half. Again, it turns into a pile of rags, which drops down to the ground, and lots of cockroaches and spiders and whatever just sort of just spread out in sort of loads of different directions from underneath the cloak.
Just they're all individually disemboweled.
And then that's when you hear voices from other rooms. What's going on? What's the noise about? Who's screaming? What time is it? Is it breakfast? So there's people sort of, you can hear doors banging and opening, and you can hear Nob, the innkeeper, sort of going, "Everyone, just calm down, just calm down." As you can hear him thumping along the stairs.
It's all taken care of. You can go back to bed.
Oh, me leg.
Difficult to
yeah, you're
explain
injured,
what has
yeah.
happened here.
Yeah, ignore the giant baby. We're all fine.
Yeah.
We're professionals. We took care of the problem. If you got any problems in your rooms, we can help sort them out as well for a small fee.
I've got no problems. I've got a blocked toilet. They sort of walk in, and when Nob sort of walks in, they see there's crowds of people, sort of heads coming out of doors and what have you. What's going on? What's all the noise about? Got to get up in the morning. I work late. And it basically, he comes walking in with a lantern, and he's, illuminates the room. Sees this pile of clothes. There's no sword, even the sword disappeared. It's just the pile of clothes. What is going on? He sort of sees you wounded there, Christoph.
I was attacked. I sound foul.
I'll try, I'll try to pick
me.
up the robe hood with like my sword. Just be like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
just be
riddled
like,
with
we're gonna
mice
attacked by this thing.
and
Yeah.
spiders, and as you lift it up, there's like insects all dropping off it. The stench is absolutely horrendous. It's
There's
disgusting.
some foul sorcery tonight. I don't know. I'm just trying to be dramatic.
Fetch my needle and thread. He sort of walks over to you, Christoph, and sort of helps you sit down on the bed. The wound where you've been hit, it's not bare flesh. It's cut open. Here it hurts. You've been hurt before. Usually when you get snapped by your nanny. But it's sort of really hurt on your leg, and it's like it's cut open, but there's no blood. It's like the blood is frozen, almost congealed straight away onto your leg, and it's quite painful.
The most disturbing wound. Oh dear.
At least you didn't bleed out.
Yeah,
No.
change.
Plus, I am
Yeah, we probably would have to pay for
a
it.
fine, tough individual that would never bleed out over too
Yeah,
much.
of course, you've
Yeah.
not felt.
We'll just
pain.
ignore the tears streaming down your face.
Tears
It's
of
a good thing you wore. Yeah, it's a good thing you wore your brown bedclothes.
Yeah,
Can I go and
brown trousers today? So
Yeah.
Can I go and examine the crow that was
Yeah.
pinned to the wall? Is that disappeared, or is that?
No, it's still there. It looks like it's been dead for a very long time. It's full of its chest cavity is open. It's full of worms and maggots. It doesn't have any eyes. It's looking a lot worse than it did before you shot it. Well, it's dead. So, but yeah. Your bolt has gone clean through it and pinned it to the wall.
Charge him for the new decoration.
New trophy for you: a rotted crow.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm
Put
not
that
sure
on
it's
Etsy.
something that they'll want to keep.
Mm. What
I'm
is
gonna
going on? Says Nob.
We have no idea either.
Come to my inn.
Someone's
start
tried to
asking
do us harm.
questions about Amanda Gwyn, and then these things turn up and attack you in my inn.
Well, at least they attacked us, and not you.
And that's the only thing. That's the only thing stopping me from casting you out on the street in the middle of the night.
And we
When
appreciate
morning
it.
comes, I want you gone, all three of you. Even my wife will take care of your wound as best she can. But your horses will be ready at first light.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for any trouble. We didn't
No.
mean to.
I mean, we didn't really do anything, so like it's not our fault.
Being here, bringing these things into my home. Yeah.
We didn't. I mean, the worst thing we did was left the window open. For all you know, it was just flying
get
in from
killed.
out of town.
Turns around, Evelyn. She takes care of your wound, puts a bit of salve on it. You get a wound back, but yeah, it'll take a couple of days for you to heal properly. And he walks out into the corridor. Everyone back to your rooms. There's nothing to say. You want to go back to bed?
I mean, depends how bad the state of bed is, because they got a sword in it.
I don't have one.
That's true. You have to make do on the floor, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
It's alright, Reggie will crawl up to you and keep you warm.
I'm going to follow
Thanks,
Nob
Matt.
down the stairs. I would like to follow Nob down the stairs as he's heading that way. If
Okay,
he
then,
is.
yeah, he's sort of heading back downstairs. He's obviously
Yeah.
his quarters are down on the.
Sir, you suspect that this is something to do with our inquiries about Armin de Gwyn?
We've had peace in Le Mortenay for 15 years. Since Armand de Gwyn left, it's been quiet, it's been peaceful. We've had good harvests, we've had good trade, everything's been fine, the water's been sweet. You've been here for a matter of hours. You asked after the person that we hate the most in this entire town, and then these things turn up. Of course I'm going to ask questions, and of course I'm going to want you as far away from here as possible. We have families here. If you are bringing in trouble from the outside, if you're dragging in trouble from the Civil War, if you're here on anybody's word, and you're looking for Armand de Gwyn, how do you expect me to react? You're asking questions about him like you don't even know who he is. You don't want to know who he is. If you had any sense, you'd abandon looking for him and just go home. What you saw in there, I have never seen anything like it. That's old magic. That's old magic. There's something ancient is coming, or is here. Strange how it arrived when you did! He slams his face onto the table and then sort of rubs his temple. I apologise.
No apology necessary. I understand. And we will be gone first light, if that is what you wish.
Sorry that you're having these troubles. I'm sorry that you encountered these things in my inn. So there'll be no charge for your night's stay. But for the sake of Le Mortenay, then please leave.
So I'm going to take one of these gold crowns that was offered to us, and I'll slide that across to him. At least it may cover the cost of the bed. Oh, I'm sure it probably could more than cover the cost of the bed.
But that's not legal tender.
Is it not? I don't know.
That is good.
I don't know. Is it not?
Chocolate! He's taking the piss, mate. No, he takes the coin. That's very good of you.
Apologies again. As I say, we'll be leaving as early as we can in the. Do we know the direction of the Grey Mountains by any chance?
It's to the west. It's the big mountains. And they're grey. No, it's to the west.
Is it a long way to go?
It is a few days, yeah. It's over quite rough terrain. Let me just bring up the map.
Oh, in that case, there's one thing I'm if I may request one
Yep.
further favour from you. We will need provisions for several days' travel.
And then let's say that the Gold Crown has just paid for those as well.
Okay. Back upstairs to the room.
You have a fitful sleep, especially you there, Christoph. You do get off to sleep eventually. But you
Yeah,
have
nice
these
soft
nightmares of-
covers and
Yeah,
lovely
but you're having
bedposts.
nightmares of like a maggot-infested cloaks dropping from the ceiling over your face. It's not night terrors,
Windows
It's not nice.
shut.
Yeah, windows closed. You sweating your tits off, but you don't care. You're safe. There's no fucking crows.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
very bad.
and then the next morning, there's breakfast laid out. It's literally to give you some road rations, some travel rations, and your horses are already saddled and waiting to go. For the 14-year-old with the 50-year-old voice. So it's so yeah, you sort of led outside. And as you go outside, it's a bit strange. It's like there's a metallic taste in the air. It's a kind of smell of decay. And as you look, sort of looking around, the trees, which seem to be so bright and so wonderful from the day before, seem a little bit brown, a little bit wilted. It's just not looking very nice. And the people there's sort of dark clouds overhead, and the people in the town, you see the farmers going off, 'cause it's early morning, they're going off to work, and just a bit of there's a little bit of negativity in the air.
Bear with me.
At least the place now is looking a bit more like we were expecting before we left.
Feels like home. Yeah. So yeah. And in the distance you can hear cawing of crows, whereas yesterday it was the cooing of pigeons and the squawks of friendly magpies. It's now the screams of pissed off birds.
Everything got a bit more metal.
Well,
Nob sort of comes out, hands you your provisions.
Oh, thank you, Nob.
Yeah, thank you, Master Nob.
Thank you, Nob. Didn't think I'd hear that today. If you just head west, follow the river as far as you can, and follow the road, well, you will see the mountains. You got Castle Drachenfels to the north. You want to avoid that when you get to the mountains. Look to the left, and you'll see 3 peaks. One slightly higher than the others, but they stand out as 3 peaks. At the base of the centre mountain is where Armand de Gwyn and my father and his friends used to meet for their secret missions. If you can find wherever the meeting place was, well, you'll have a better chance of finding him.
Thank you.
I don't know what fate awaits you. I don't know why you're looking for him. But I wish you well on a safe journey.
So good luck to you too, and your town.
Yes, hopefully we'll come back this way sometime and furnish you with more gold for staying here.
Yeah, I'll look at.
Yeah.
No, but
Maybe one day we could repay your kindness. You've been a good knob.
Just don't pat the knob.
Oh, thank fuck I wasn't drinking.
Give it a firm handshake instead.
Yeah, I think that'll do. Yeah, thanks. Just shake my hand. Yep. Come out your horses.
Quite a grip you got there.
You get on your horses. Oh, by the way, can you make a leadership roll for the dog, please? Very quickly.
Oh,
He's
Jesus.
decided to stay here.
Fail again. Like it seems to be quite consistently a 52 on a fail every single time. So I know exactly how much I need to level it up to get control of this animal.
Because you're riding on your horse. I mean, it's only a small dog, isn't it? So you can either carry him or let him run alongside you. It's completely up to you. I mean, horses don't gallop all the time, so you're going to be going and get a sort of a walk and possibly a
I'll
camel.
carry him because he's quite lazy.
Well, I'm going to suggest something here. Bearing in mind that you keep failing those leadership roles, maybe you'd better not put your hands anywhere near his mouth either.
Yeah.
Hey, we have an understanding.
You start riding away from Lamortino. You go through the gates. Guards aren't there anymore. They've actually closed the gates now. When you get to the gates, they open them for you. There's a couple of hands there who open it for you, and you head out into the greater world, into the greater old world. Lamortino just feels a little bit more dreary as you sort of head down the long road, passing through to the gate.
One would think they're looking forward to getting rid of us.
As soon as you walk out, all these party poppers start going off. You sort of get out
We brought such light to the place.
Yeah. I just say that's when the sun comes out, right? As soon as we leave.
Right behind you. Yeah, and you can hear trumpets going, doodle-doo, hooray! And, you head out onto the road. You follow the river for as far as you can and start heading towards the Grey Mountains. Now, the Grey Mountains are the borders basically marks the border between the Empire and Britannia. On the other side of the Grey Mountains, of course, you have the Forest of Lauren, which is the home of the Wood Elves. And the direction that you're heading at the moment, you are by Gunsberg. So yeah, to the south is I can't even read that. Is the bike past the Grissenwald, and to the north is Castle Drachenfels. Of course, you don't want to go to Castle Drachenfels. Nobody does. Although the book was quite good. But you're sort of heading towards the Grey Mountains, and almost as described by Nob, you see 3 peaks. You got all the mountains sort of sticking up, but these 3 peaks just seem to stand out, as if almost like they're beckoning you. like 3 spires almost. There's 2 almost exactly the same height and almost uniform. In the very centre is the taller one, and that's what. But the closer you get to the Grey Mountains, the more overcast the sky gets. And by the time you're sort of going through the forests, just before you get to the base of the mountains and get to the sort of the highlands, it's ripping it down with rain. I mean, this is torrential. It's really strange as well because there's like a fog. They said a misty fog, but what else would fog be? There's like a fog in the trees as you're following this road. That's right. There's a weird misty foggy, and it's just but in this fog as well, it's also hammering it down. It's very, very strange, and you can actually almost feel the cold. Like the cold is being blown down from the mountains, like this from the snow. It's just horrendous. This horrible, miserable feeling. You're sort of heading through the forest. You're getting a little bit of cover from the trees, but it's not a hell of a lot. The actual trees are actually quite sparse. So your horses are miserable, you're miserable, your dog's pissed off, and it's just dreary as hell. I'm going to ask you all to make.
I mean, the dog's attitude doesn't really stand out.
Frightful weather. Make a what? Sorry, roll.
A willpower roll, please.
19. Yes, I'm fine.
Pass.
99.
That's
23. I passed.
Okay, so both your passes, you're fine. It's wet and it's a bit miserable. That's a critical. There's a fumble on your roll for willpower there. I was going to say that if you failed your roll, you'd lose 5% off all your rolls.
Okay.
Off your things because of the wet, but you're actually going to lose 10%. So because you're really wet through. I mean, it's literally like I'm going to wear as many clothes as possible and get wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everything's starting to ache, I guess, like rheumatism.
Yeah, it's really, really hurting. And that's when you sort of come into a small copse, and then you come across a river. It's a fast-flowing river, obviously with the rain, and of course you're this close to the mountains. The rivers are quite deep and fast-flowing, like I say. It's a bit like it's almost like a whitewater river. And as you get to it, it's running from right to left. It's all over the sound. You can actually hear it over the roar of the rain. It's really, really, really powerful, and it doesn't appear to be a crossing. It's coming from the mist, going upwards in the trees and disappearing into the mist, going left. And in front of you is the central peak of these 3 mountains in the Grey Mountains. Well, what is it you want to do? There's no visible bridge, and there's no. Well, you can't see how deep the water is. As far as you can see the rocks sticking out of the water, and the water is literally just hammering against it. If somebody could be whitewater rafting down here and saying that's the best time I've ever had, then that's what would be happening. But fantasy.
This river looks too strong to cross here. But we want to go that way, don't we?
Yeah. See if there's a bridge or some fording point up ahead we could use.
Yes. Let's continue. Are you okay over there, old fellow?
I'll be fine.
Yeah. Ground once for yes, ground twice for no.
Creek once for yes. Do you want to head downriver or upriver?
Let's go downriver.
Upriver. No, I'll go downriver.
You got the
expert.
I just roll the dice on it because I have no knowledge of the landscape.
That's a good point, actually, Mr. Road Warden.
Yeah.
Has anybody got any kind of lay of the land skill?
No.
In that case, then, Mr. Road Warden, I'll ask you to make an intelligence roll. If you fail the intelligence roll, you can choose voting on one of these guys because they've both voted one up, one down, which way to go. If you pass the intelligence roll, I'll tell you probably which is the best way to go based on your experience.
Okay. I have an intelligence of 25.
That's kind of shit.
Jesus.
So, yeah, you got a 1 in 4 chance. So
is that including your minus for being wet through?
Oh, shit, yes.
No,
actually, no. That's my physical roll, so no, this is a mental.
All right, okay, that's okay then.
I have rolled a...
I would love it that you're so wet, you're stupider than you were earlier this morning. I'm so moist, I can't think straight. Wait.
I'm so moist.
I have rolled a 14.
Hey!
Yay!
You're probably better off going downriver because you want to go to the part where the river starts to calm down a bit. You start heading upriver, then you know what I mean. You're still going to be going up, and it's still going to be torrential. So you want to start heading downriver, so it might be a little bit smoother.
Yeah, I think basically I just go along with these guys then.
That's not a good
You're
idea.
right. Let's go. You're not stupid, but it's 50-50 chance. So you start heading down river. There's no visible path. There's nothing for the horses to walk along. Excuse me. So you're going to have to. You can ride your horses if you want to.
No, walk and
But
lead the
really slow
horses.
going, you'll probably be better off leading the horses. That's when your dog starts going ape shit. I was good. He's literally stopped. His head's up. He's looking around, and he's literally just barking at the trees.
What's that, Reggie?
And there's obviously
Reggie could be one of those mutated dogs that can talk.
Yeah, and then you hear this voice going, "He's onto us."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's he's just literally just barking at the trees, and after a few minutes, he's sort of there, he's still sniffing the air. Then he sort of turns as if he's still wary. And then he sort of slowly comes back to you, and he stops and turns suddenly. Then slowly.
I think
turns
we're
and
being
comes back
followed.
to you. Yeah. Old Reggie.
What gave it away? The dog?
Well, more the point that he calmed down for a bit and then saw movement.
The fact he's not licking his balls at the moment.
I mean,
Well,
that's
good
not
sign.
really a good tell.
No, that's true. Yes. Hopefully you don't do the same.
Well, days young. So
Well-
yeah, you start heading down. The river. It's like I say, as about an hour journey. You made very, very slow progress. You've probably done less than a mile. Because you have to make your way around dead trees and through foliage. I mean, it's probably a bit easier this close to the river bank, but it's not like there's a drop into the river at this point.
Yeah.
And then the river starts to get smooth out. Then looming out the darkness, or looming out of the fog in front of you, you see what looks like a bridge going over the river directly. There's a weir just behind it, as you can hear the water crashing down. And just on this side of the river where you are, there's an old run-down mill. And by the looks of it, the closer you get, it looks like there's a mill there. The mill wheel's all smashed to pieces. It's hardly moving. But it looks like there's a small village here, or what used to be a small village. It's now all run down. It's just ruins. It's just half walls. There is a couple of completed buildings, but they're empty. And it's all and the forest has basically reclaimed this village. The bridge looks intact. There are a few planks missing. You might need to be a little bit wary, but it is quite wide. And what appears to be a toll house on the far side, and in the mist, I should say, you can see there's a few other buildings on the other side as well. So it just looks like it used to be a village here for whatever reason, and it's basically been lost and forgotten about, and the forest has reclaimed it. Reggie goes apeshit. As you start,
I'm gonna get my sling out and get ready for trouble.
So he's going nuts. He's just barking in all directions, and then he runs back to you and sort of goes back behind your legs, almost for protection. When somebody stood behind you going, yeah. But in reality, they're like, I'm going to bark as loud as possible, but I'm shitting my pants. That's what Reggie's doing at the moment. Except without, not in English.
Thanks, Reggie. You're so brave.
Okay.
Well, I was hoping we might be able to find some shelter there.
Well, there's some shelter up ahead. I just have a feeling someone else is already there.
How long have we been travelling, by the way? Has it been a few hours?
It's been a couple of days.
But our friend here needs to rest because he's.
In this weather, it's been pretty much the whole day in torrential rain.
Yes. Well, we need to find a place to
and fog.
shelter, at least get some warmth inside our friend here.
Well, you've got two choices. The actual mill itself, which is fully made of stone, that looks like it's still got a partially intact roof. All the other buildings are all just walls and what having collapsed in. There is a larger building further down, which looks like some sort of town hall. It actually looks like there's a boat being turned upside down and the wall built underneath it. Quite a large river boat, with the boat as it's sailing. So
I suggest the mill would be a better place than going into town.
Yeah.
Out of the edge. We
Probably
keep
a
an
bit
eye
more
on things
defensible as well.
Yes, we can get a fire going so our friend here can warm up and we can all take shelter from this godforsaken warm rain.
So you walk into the mill. It's there's no windows. All the windows are rotted off. The doorway is hanging off. There's not even a door. Actually, you touch it, it basically just turns to mush. It's got papier-mâché doors. And as you step in, the actual stone itself is thick and it's solid. It's really, really well built. Has to be because it's a mill and it's a working mill. You can actually see the bar, the gears going out to the wheel that was outside. The big miller's wheel. The actual miller's stone is cracked and it's lying on the floor. It goes up 2 or 3 stories. So you probably. You've got the mill sort of area above, and they lived on the top floor. It's about 3 stories high, but all the floorboards are all smashed through now, so there's all rubble all over the floor. But it is dry in here for the most part, and a lot of the wood that's in here, the smashed wood from the floorboards and what have you, could act as tinder, so you can get yourself a nice roaring fire going. Of course, you're going to have to get everything sort of stripped off to get it dried, and it is coming towards nightfall anyway, so it's probably a good place to spend the night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's not go too crazy with the fire in case we're not alone.
Let's secure the horses inside. Tie the horses up so they.
There's plenty of
Yeah.
room for the horses.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll get a fire going.
Takes about an hour to get yourself sorted out, get the horses sorted, make sure that they're in a place where they're not going to get dripped on, and that they've got their feed as well. Remember, they've had to bring a sack of feed for each of them, because I mean they will munch on sort of grass and what have you, but there's none of that at the moment. And they don't appear to be that peckish with the local foliage. The only thing really that stands out, I mean, you get the fire going, that's no problem at all. The only thing that stands out is that Reggie is by the door, literally sort of in sort of pointer mode, and his head's sort of looking out the door like he's expecting trouble. See his little tail going, not in an excited fashion either.
I'll keep an eye out with him, like once we're sort of.
And Reggie just goes batshit insane as well, starts yapping top of his voice, and then just runs off outside.
Oh,
God damn it, stupid dog.
what's gone into him?
I don't know, but
You hear him
I
go,
have a feeling he wants to be. Yeah, he just wants to be somewhere else.
Well, with this weather, I think we all want to be somewhere else. But alas,
Yeah.
this is what we are quested to do, and we must continue onwards after.
Yeah, we're
Good
gonna have
night.
to pick him up in the morning. I'm not chasing
Then you
after
hear-
him naked in this rain.
He disappears, hear him barking in the distance, then you suddenly hear. And it goes quiet.
That doesn't sound good.
No, it's-
Are you close to
No, no,
Reggie?
Oh,
I'm
no,
not
it's
saying
quite a
anything's
distance away.
happened, but,
I don't know how
you
far
know.
away he got. I'm not good with distances. I'm sure he'll be fine.
I'm sure he'll be perfectly fine. Yes, don't worry about it. I'm
Yeah.
sure it'll be fine.
They grow back, don't they?
Well, you can always get
Dogs.
another one. don't you?
Yeah, get another dog. Yes.
Is your first dog?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Reggie the 17th.
Dog's always good. Yeah, don't worry, he'll be fine. I'm sure the dog will be fine.
Yeah.
I'm-
So at least we know what direction he headed off, and like how we can try to gauge how far he went off before he. Whatever,
When he shot
changed
out, it
his
looks
tone.
like he was headed towards the building with the boat on the top of it.
An idiot.
But then he just disappeared
Okay.
into the fog. When it's getting dark out there as well.
Well, it looks like it was
Oh,
a good decision not to go out into the town.
Yeah, I think so. I think a very good decision. I'll take a first watch. You two rest. Don't worry. I'll stay alert and
Yeah.
awake, and I'll wake one of you to take over. We'll
Next,
let the
personal
Empire have
note,
more
invest
space.
in a lead.
Yeah, the lead will be good. Yes. Yes.
Especially the lead in some dog training sessions, I think it's probably a good idea. Sit.
Yeah,
So,
well, I specifically have dog training, but apparently it's worth nothing.
Obviously, you're shit. Need to get that skill up, Jesus Christ. You got animal handling.
Yeah, you get it as part of having the dog. I think I already know
Shit.
some tricks, but
I'm
oh well.
sorry, mate. That's completely my fault. I should have realised that would have added 20% to your rolls.
Oh, they probably would have pushed it. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
We'll find him in the morning.
Okay, well, just remember that for next time. Next time you make a leadership roll, remember to add 20% to your leadership and then make your roll because
Cool.
you've got animal handling and what have you. Yeah. Okay. So, you all settling down for the night? Who's taking first watch? Sorry.
I'll take first watch.
Oh, cool. The injured guy.
Yes.
So you get yourself set up. The fire's going. Your clothes are all hanging out as well. They'll be drying in a couple of 3 hours. Yeah, it's a horrible evening. The rain just doesn't let up. It's continuous. It's hammering down. You take first watch. I mean, what do you want to do? Are you going to go upstairs? Do you want to sit by the door?
No, I'm gonna sit by the door near the fire. You know, I've got my travelling clothes and I've changed into my other set of clothes, my slightly
Yep.
fancier clothes. So I'm, not too cold.
Sitting there in his robe with his cravat, his
Yes,
smoking jacket.
yes,
Yep.
exactly,
There.
exactly. Sword ready. Just keeping an eye on
Got your
things.
pipe on the go.
Yes, definitely, yes.
Yep.
Feathers,
And then
just kind of.
Then in the darkness, you see there's like a movement, and for a moment it just seemed to be one massive shadow. You hear this clumping sound, like something heavy landing on the ground. Then out the darkness, literally you see a foot the size of a horse, and the leg disappears into darkness. And it comes swinging out the darkness over the river, lands in front of the building that you're next to. You actually feel the ground tremor very slightly, and then another, and it's the feet of a giant in the giants in the mist, and in the darkness as well. And then another foot comes down, and then it's you hear crashing trees, and disappears off into the darkness.
What kind of weed are you smoking?
Nothing went on. It was perfectly
The
quiet.
rock
Right? Yes. Okay, I'll huddle back up and stay warm, keeping alert until it's time to wake up my my dog catching colleague. Little stick. Just wake up, time. Your turn to watch, sir.
Yep. Who's
Nothing went on. Nothing.
I'll go
the
next.
second watch. Yeah, you get the second watch, and then of course.
Yeah, because Amadeus needs a bit more rest.
Yeah. Well, Amadeus takes the next watch. As after that, your clothes are all fully dry at this point, and of course at that point the sun's starting to come up as best as possible. It's still raining, but not as heavy.
Feeling a little bit guilty, Amadeus going to stand at the doorway, kind of whistling softly
Yeah.
for the dog.
Yeah.
That's how we get found out and ambushed. They literally just like.
How did you find them? You were fucking whistling. It was so easy. Didn't even need a crow. So yeah,
I had to do that because
Yeah.
my wife's going to kill me otherwise because we've left the dog to die.
Disgusting.
I mean, the dog's fine. We'll pick him up in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, he might be very
Out
flat.
on the piss.
I mean, we might be able to post him.
I would have loved it if you just had like the giant's foot whiz past the door and it's this tiny dog lashed onto his
Hanging
ankle.
onto his ankle.
No, on his ankle. Just like I got him right where I want him. Any day now.
So yeah, you
Oh,
wake up in the
dear.
morning, and it's really weird because when the sun comes up, you're looking out into the court. Well, what used to be the courtyard of the thing. There's a huge footprint filled with water on the ground. In fact, there's 2 or 3 of them. Something stepped over the river and then just carried on walking off into the trees. When he looks to the left, you see where the trees have sort of been smashed and sort of moved out of the way. So this is a
Gentlemen,
big thing. Yeah.
did any
Yeah,
of
how
you
deeply
happen
do we
to-
sleep?
Oh, don't worry. I let them go past. I didn't want to alert you or wake you up. I thought we could let
Yeah,
these
it's probably not worth
migrating
mentioning.
giants go past us without causing any, fear. I didn't want you to be afraid of them. Don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah, it would be nice is like the possibility of we don't actually ever wake up. You just killed by a collapsing windmill
I wouldn't know.
Congratulations.
because he didn't wake you up when he saw the giant.
Yeah.
I didn't think you needed to wake up. I figured you needed your rest more than that. But anyway, we're fine. Let's go find the dog and get on.
I've got this image in my head now of you walking out going, "Let's go!" And this big giant's foot goes, "Oh no! You should have said
And
something."
now for something
Shit.
completely different.
I didn't see that coming.
But it was funny. Spend a fate point. So yeah, well you get up in the morning.
We'll make our way
You
towards
have
that boathouse
Yeah.
because it seems to have a lot of description, and the dog ran that way.
Isn't it weird? So
Oh.
you head over to the house. As you sort of head, I mean, it's still misty and it's still raining. It's not as bad as it was. It's not torrential. It's just a little bit of a light rain. So you need a light coat for it. All your clothes are dry now, so you're feeling. So you've lost that penalty. You're feeling a little bit more like yourself, a lot less damp.
Oh.
You head over to this building, and it looks like it was some kind. You could describe it as a mead house, I mean, it wasn't a tavern, but it could have been like a town hall, like a village hall. So there's all benches and stuff in there, and paper, tables where people could sit. There's a big table, a big raised dais at the back, where probably the village elders or whoever was in charge at the time. And looking at the architecture, this is going back like hundreds of years. So this place has been abandoned for a long time, and there's absolutely nothing in there. When you walk in, though, you've stepped out from outside. When you walk in, you can smell roast meat, and it's like you can, but the air
Roast
is warm.
Reggie!
There's no poor old red hot dogs. But when you walk in,
Lots of tiny little
the
steak.
air is warm. I apologise for the hot dog joke. It was a cheap shot. But it's like the air is warm, and it's almost like somebody's had a fire on the go in here for a long time. It's got this homely feel to it, like there's people living here. But there's no sign of that at all. It's just a sense that you get when you step over the threshold. Curled up next to a cold fire pit in the middle of the room is Reggie, asleep.
Reggie, you little bastard. Come here.
He looks up at you. his eyes glowing red. What did you just fucking call me?
Yeah.
Nah, it didn't happen. I just made it up. So
Don't
yeah,
equivalent
Reggie, get used to it. It's your name, you asshole.
so yeah, he sort of looks up. His head sort of snaps up. He sort of sees you. He starts panting excitedly and sort of bounds over towards you.
Yeah, I would love it if you only did that demonic possession thing to like Amadeus. Just never anyone else.
Oh, demonic possession. Let me just make a note of that. So yeah, it's yeah, he comes bounding over as if he's very, very happy to see you, which is quite
Yeah,
uncharacteristic.
I'll
for him.
scoop him up.
Yeah.
He's been a good boy.
Okay. He's licking your face.
Maybe he is possessed.
I don't know what he's been cooking.
Yeah.
What have you been cooking,
What an
Reggie?
arsehole.
Oh, you did just mention he's licking his face, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit! Make a roll. No, he's licking your face.
Oh no,
The,
he's got COVID.
oh no! Oh shit! Disease. Not I say.
He
has
like
been licking his
Luckily,
own arse and
luckily,
his
yeah.
balls.
Well, luckily I've got immunity to disease and poison.
But when you pick him up, he's really warm.
Just for
and
such an
toasty.
eventuality.
Oh.
He's really
Hot dog.
He's really warm and toasty, like he's been asleep next to a fire. But it's freezing. There's no fire in here.
Well,
Like I
not
say,
right now.
And then you can hear in the background. You can hear like people laughing and people talking, almost as if this mead hall is echoing something
Haunted.
from the past. And you hear people laughing, and you can hear the sizzling of bacon. Maybe you can hear a clank of tankards.
Can you
There's,
smell
like
that?
there's a faint murmur in the background as people having conversations, and then there's a laughter. Somebody's laughing in the corner.
I hope you're all hearing that too.
No, I don't hear
Smell the
anything. What are you talking about?
Bacon. Can you smell the bacon?
What bacon?
Smells.
I
know,
definitely
that's
smell a pub
Proper
crack.
crispy bacon. And
I've lost my
sausages.
sense of
That's what
taste
I
and
was
smell.
looking for. Yeah, sorry, strange.
That was so strange. Just remembering what bacon smells like.
Bacon.
Sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to put you through this, but hey, games.
Bastard.
So
Yeah.
it's out on the smell of fresh bread as well, like freshly baked bread. There's that really hanging in. Yeah, is there anything else you want me to describe?
Like a hint of
Donuts.
mint.
Oh, donuts. Yeah.
Tell you what, Strainer.
Drive away this
I'll
Okay,
go
that's
point
it, man.
straight.
That's it. Take a break for 2 weeks and get bent, you prick. That was like... No, it's like it feels really homely, and that kind of sense of community, and you feel really warm inside. Really welcoming.
Interesting.
What do you want
Not where we need to be though, so we've got places to go.
Could have eat that bacon though, couldn't you? Damn fine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can eat as much imaginary bacon as you want.
Oh, the taste of bacon. Oh, it's been like an age since I've eaten the taste of bacon.
Well, let's go catch you a
We
pig.
should just go on.
You're gonna leave the building, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yes.
turn around, start
Building
walking
three.
out. As you start walking out, all those noises just stop. The sound of the fire, the sound of the cooking, the sound of the mead drinking, the sound of the clinking, the laughing, everything stops. And then behind you, in the semi-darkness, you hear a hiss, the sound, "You cannot leave." And that's where we'll leave it to the next session.